I thought the Reverend was yanking my chain. I wish we had a video camera on this, because during the last break, the Reverend comes in here. Hey, man, I think I just got a call from Ted Nugent. I'm like, get out of here. And he says, yeah, no, seriously, I'm going to call and check it out. I said, okay, cool. Well, this is interesting here. And we actually have Ted on the line, and I'm going to get to Ted just a second here. I want to set this up. I have been using Ted's song, Ted's guitar riff from his band, the Damn Yankees. Awesome. I think it's 1996 CD, or maybe 1994, Don't Tread on Me, as theme music since 1999. I've told this story on the program before. We cut Tommy Shaw's vocal out of it and just made it into the riff that we use for the program, and it's been a signature staple of the show. And I always wonder, one day Ted Nugent's going to be driving around and he's going to hear that going like, nobody plays that song. Well, somebody does. And sure enough, today is the day. So we're lucky because we have a conservationist, a hunter, and a damn fine rock and roller. Ted Nugent on the line. Ted, how you doing?
Mike, I'm doing grand, and God bless you, sir, for having the balls and the spirit and the brain to play real rhythm and blues rock and roll on a global climate fluctuation radio celebration, sir. Nicely done.
What year was Don't Tread on Me?
Who cares?
You can't even know.
I think, Mike, I think that the first time that lick erupted was probably sometime in the roaring 50s after I figured out that Chuck Berry had got drunk enough to use Les Paul's new invention perfectly, and that lick had been floating around forever. But when the damn Yankees got together to collaborate and create this wonderful homage to James Brown, that just took wings and let her rip, especially with those guys, Tommy Shaw, Jack Blades, Michael Cardelloni. What a bunch of scorching black guitar slamming rhythm and blues rocking gods. So yeah, those licks have a life of their own, don't they?
They do, but we'll get off the subject of music in just a second, but I have to ask one question, because I have postulated about this for years, and now you can finally end any of my misinformation. I have always said that Tommy Shaw's lyric on that about "Don't you dare, don't you tread on me" was a pro-American piece, right or wrong?
Oh, hell yes. First of all, I wrote the damn lyric.
Well, fantastic, sir. See, there you go, folks.
No, we collaborated on it, but I just regurgitate these powerhouse, blood and guts, ferocious, brutal, black musician-inspired guitar licks, and then when you got a guy like Tommy Shaw, who is also inspired by all the rhythm and blues and gospel and blues gods, none of us have a white influence to be found, and Jack Blades as well. And of course, I am Rosa Parks with a Glock and a Gibson, so I always like to celebrate as much defiance as I can milk out of a cold blue steel weapon of mass construction. And doing so, Don't Tread seemed to be the right attitude when we were invading the voodoo Allah pukes over there, and the Desert Storm was erupting. So, God, I'm such a patriot, I can hardly stand myself.
Well, I could tell. So the Reverend told me that you had some that you got the Sirius Radio for the NRA channel. God bless you. That they have their show is on at 9 o'clock tonight, our time, because I believe you're in Central Time like we are.
That's right, and God bless the Sportsman's Paradise too down there.
Absolutely, and you're going to love the NRA show hosted by Cam Edwards. He had Tom Selleck on last week, and they were trading stories about Selleck giving his guns to the NRA museum. One of them, the most popular one, the one from the Quigley Down Under movie.
Sure, the long-range booger, yeah.
Absolutely. So what can I do for you today, sir?
Well, nothing other than the fact that, when you're talking environmentalism and you've corrected the global warming malfunction by identifying it as a global, I think you called it global climatic fluctuation condition. I mean, I'm just a guitar player, and you have to bear with me because I never went to college. I was too busy learning stuff. I've been a hunter and a fisherman and a trapper my whole life, and I think the irrefutable evidence, in fact, I take that back. I don't think nothing. I know that the irrefutable evidence that Mount St. Helen will leave a bigger footprint than Ted Nugent with a size 12 lacrosse rubber boot up the ass of an animal rights numbnut. I mean, that's a footprint we can all bow to. But that in Michigan, my home state of Michigan,
yes.
I was born in 1948.
Yes.
And Lake Erie used to spontaneously ignite, Mike. It used to just catch on fire for no good damn reason.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Lake Erie. Everyone listening to Mike Church and Uncle Ted on Patriot Radio, when I was growing up, Lake Erie was so polluted from the industrial revolution orgy of productivity without accountability that Lake Erie would catch on fire. Well, with the good Governor John Engler and hunting, fishing, and trapping organizations that were the first to sound the alarm, today, and as early as 1988, Lake Erie is the #1 walleye and smallmouth bass fishery to be found on planet Earth. Now, if that's not an upgrade, I'm going to take Kurt Cobain quail hunting tomorrow. Of course, the only difference between Kurt Cobain's quail gun and mine, I use mine on damn quail. So celebrate that the points that Mike Church is bringing up are self-evident truth, universally to be found around this great nation of ours, as I'm wrapping up the greatest hunting season of my 58 years. There are more deer, more turkey, more black bear, more geese, more cougar. This is documented by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and all the furry and cuddly organizations as well. There are more of those game animals in 2007 than ever in recorded history, Mike.
Yeah, well, and this is a result, as I was saying, Ted, earlier before we got you on, that as the planet, as we all increase our substantial carbon footprints in order to feed the wildlife around here, which is a good thing to do, that's real environmentalism.
True.
Plants grow, animals eat plants. Many of them are omnivorous; they're not carnivorous. And
as am I.
Right. And
I love vegetarians. That's all I eat, baby.
And Mustafa's great circle of life and Elton John's great circle of life just continues to go around, and it has effects down the line, which is amazing that all the animal rights nuts, they ought to be they should be so in favor of increasing carbon, because it does add to the animal life. Let me give you a quick little story that we found today. In Indonesia, yesterday, a bunch of scientists got together and just said, well, look what we did. We found 20 species of stingrays and sharks that we didn't know existed prior to our surveys and our exploration this past summer, which ought to tell anybody that's listening that no science, as it applies to the Earth, is settled, or is it consensus?
Well, it's a ongoing, fluctuating, work in progress. And again, I'm just a guitar player, but I'm a trapper. I've been trapping for approximately 50 years. And right now, fur prices are going up. And if you really examine the denial cult of the culture war against Ted Nugent, the animal rights, the so-called dope smoking environmentalists, they think I just rape and pillage the earth. But you will not find a human being, Mike, to ever invite on your radio show that has planted more trees than I have. I've planted hundreds of thousands of trees. Plus, when you examine the very scientific system by which air, soil, and water is cleansed, you will find a hunting organization that has rehabilitated, safeguarded, or reclaimed wildlife habitat, like the National Wild Turkey Federation, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, Federation of North American Wild Sheep, Ducks Unlimited, Delta Waterfowl. I could go on with thousands of hunting, fishing, and trapping organizations whose main goal is spending annually billions and billions of donated dollars from hunting and fishing and trapping families that have absolutely saved the productivity system by which our air, soil, and water is created. Yet you will find butterfly, dope-smoking hippie numbnut out there sitting in a red tree for 2 years while I plant 50,000. I guess you have to ask yourself, which is the better use of environmental upgrade time? Sitting in a tree like some kind of stoned hippie, or planting trees with Uncle Ted and then skinning a rabbit? I mean, I'm so perfect when it comes to environmentalism. I gotta take my hat off, put my Glock in my back pocket and adjust my halo in between killing things and eating them. And that's political correctness and the culture war in its most obvious and vulgar, obscene reality.
Absolutely.
That Ted Nugent, I kill stuff and I eat it, which happens to be perfect. Those that hate me hate the perfection of the natural tooth, fang, and claw world. And if you really want to save the environment, you got to get yourself a hunting license, a fishing license, and a trapping license, and immediately you are in the asset column. Otherwise, kiss my ass.
Well,